We just had to not like each other for a bit.
You had to not like me, which came easy.
So easy.
The Last of Us was plagued by complaints of bad casting. And The Last of Us 2 is not faring much better.
Creator of the show is finally speaking out about its failure. The Last of Us creator Craig Mazin admits Season 2 was a failure.
No one expected Bella Ramsey to snap on camera, but what happened during that live stream left fans speechless. It started like any other live. Bella Ramsey, the rising star who's made headlines for her powerful performances and unique voice, appeared on Instagram Live one quiet evening. No warning, no flashy announcement, just a shaky camera, some dim lighting, and a noticeably quiet tone in her voice.
Finale drew over 50% less than the finale of Season 1. You lost half of your...
Have you changed up your impression at all, or is it pretty much the same?
Well, the noise is the same. I've not got any more noises in my back. The new infected are pretty terrifying. They're so smart, and they haven't really got a noise. That's the whole point of them. They're silent and terrifying.
Ooh, give us a little silent and terrifying.
But what unfolded over the next 10 minutes wasn't a Q&A, a casual hangout, or a promo for her next role. It was something raw, something real, and it left the internet divided. The clip that went viral didn't even show the full stream. Just a few seconds of Bella trying to speak, struggling on her words, wiping tears from her face. That alone was enough to ignite TikTok, X, formerly Twitter, and every fan forum in existence. Within hours, the caption, "This is what roasting does," was stamped onto a TikTok repost that exploded past 1 million views before Bella even had time to log off. But to understand how it got to this point, you have to rewind. Because this breakdown didn't come out of nowhere. It was a slow build-up, one that the public saw coming, but nobody stepped in to stop. So what really happened to Bella Ramsey? And how did something so personal, so human, become another piece of viral content for the world to chew on? Bella Ramsey isn't new to the spotlight, but the spotlight hasn't always been kind. She broke out in Game of Thrones as Lyanna Mormont, the fierce young warrior who stole scenes from actors 3 times her age. From there, she landed the coveted role of Ellie in HBO's The Last of Us, a casting choice that was met with immediate praise, and just as immediate controversy. Not because of her talent, no one could argue that, but because the internet is obsessed with appearance, and Bella didn't fit every fan's imagined version of Ellie. She responded with grace at first. Interviews, magazine covers, heartfelt quotes about staying true to herself, but even the strongest armor starts to crack under constant fire. Over the last year, Bella's social media presence shifted. She posted less, her captions got more guarded, and occasionally she'd delete posts altogether after backlash flooded the comments. Behind the scenes, fans speculated that something was off. Paparazzi photos captured her looking more withdrawn. Some fans noticed she hadn't been spotted with her usual friend group, and rumors started swirling about stress behind the scenes of her most recent shoot. There was even a viral thread claiming she'd gone to Hollywood and was losing touch with her roots. A baseless but damaging narrative that spread like wildfire. Still, Bella remained silent. She didn't address the negativity. She didn't clap back. Until one night, with nothing but her phone in hand, she finally went live, and the world watched her unravel in real time. The exact spark that lit the firestorm isn't 100% clear. Some say it was a recent interview where Bella spoke openly about gender identity and self-expression, a topic that always brings out the roast. Others point to a photo set from a red carpet event where she wore an unconventional outfit, leading to a barrage of cruel comments about her appearance. But whatever it was, it tipped the scales. One moment, she was the darling of prestige TV. The next, she was the internet's latest target. A few opinionated tweets quickly snowballed into a full-blown backlash. TikTok creators began stitching her clips with snarky voiceovers, roasting her tone, her clothes, even her expressions. Fan accounts turned on her, resharing old quotes out of context, twisting twisting them into something controversial. And then came the analysis videos. You know the type. 10-minute roasts from creators who've never met her, but speak like they know her soul. Titles like The Problem with Bella Ramsey and Why Fans Are Turning Against Her started racking up views. These weren't just hot takes. They were targeted campaigns disguised as content. And unfortunately, they worked. Public opinion began to tilt. The comments section on her posts turned hateful almost overnight. Some accused her of being ungrateful for her fame. Others roasted her appearance in ways that crossed every possible line. There were entire threads dissecting her voice, her weight, even her facial expressions. It wasn't criticism, it was roasting. And through it all, Bella stayed silent until that Instagram Live, when silence turned to sobs, and the backlash became something far more personal than anyone expected. But the real storm hadn't even started yet. It was unannounced. No countdown, no Instagram story, no warning at all. Just suddenly, Bella was live. People caught it by accident at first. A few notifications popped up for fans who had alerts turned on. Others joined only after seeing group chats light up with Bella's live right now. Within a minute, thousands had flooded in, some expecting a casual hangout, others curious if she'd finally respond to the storm of negativity swirling around her name. What they got was something different, something off. She appeared on screen in what looked like a dim bedroom, hair messy, makeup smudged like it had been worn earlier in the day and never touched up. Her face was tense, not like someone about to joke around, but like someone holding something in. Her voice, software, unsteady. She said hi, barely above a whisper, tried to smile, failed, and then she started talking. At first, it seemed like she was going to keep things light. She thanked her fans for their support, talked briefly about working on upcoming projects, said she was just checking in. But that's when the comment section turned. Not just with roasts, but real-time hate. Why are you always playing the victim? Stop making everything about you. Maybe stop pretending to be something you're not. It hit instantly and hard. You could see the moment she saw those comments. Her smile dropped. Her eyes started darting between the camera and the comment stream, trying to read and respond at the same time. She stumbled over her words, took a deep breath, tried again, but her voice cracked. I didn't come on here to argue, she said. I wanted to talk. I wanted to be real with you for a second. But the comment flood didn't stop. If anything, it got worse. Some fans defended her, spamming hearts and kind words, but the algorithm has a twisted sense of humor. Hate rises to the top faster, and Bella was watching it happen in real time. Then came the moment. She started to speak again about how the last few months had been hard, about how she tried to ignore the negativity, but it was starting to stick. Her voice trembled, her eyes welled up, and then, with no warning, she broke down completely. Tears, shaking, a raw, unfiltered release that no PR team could have scripted or prevented. She whispered, I don't even know what I did wrong. That clip, just those 7 words, would soon become the most viral video of the week. But she wasn't done yet. Not quite. It was silent for a few seconds after that. Just Bella, head down, breathing heavy, trying to compose herself. The comments slowed, not because people stopped typing, but because the weight of what was happening had finally hit the audience. They weren't watching a celebrity anymore. They were watching a 21-year-old kid unravel in front of millions. I didn't even know what I did wrong. That sentence stuck in the air like smoke. It wasn't planned. It wasn't dramatic. It was the kind of thing someone says when they're past the point of caring how they sound, when they're just tired of pretending it's all okay. And then, just like that, the wave of empathy hit. Supportive comments surged. We love you, Bella. You don't owe anyone an explanation. Stay strong. But it was too late. The damage had been done. Bella wiped her eyes, apologized for crying, which only made it worse. She kept trying to end the stream, fumbling with her phone. You could hear her mumbling off camera, something like, this was a mistake, before the screen went black and the live abruptly ended. But that wasn't the end, not even close, because someone, somewhere, had screen recorded the entire thing. And within minutes, clips started circulating. First on X, then TikTok. A 17-second cut of Bella's breakdown, captioned, "This is what roasting does," was reposted by a TikTok creator with nearly 1 million followers. The algorithm grabbed it like a missile. Within the hour, the video had over 300,000 views. By the next morning, it had passed 5 million. Commenters were divided. Some expressed heartbreak. Others accused her of faking it. She's an actress, remember? One commenter wrote, racking up thousands of likes. But most people weren't discussing the facts. They were just reacting to a moment of pain they didn't fully understand. What happened on that live stream was deeply personal. But the internet doesn't care about personal. It cares about viral. And Bella's tears had just become the internet's next next obsession. 17 seconds. That's all it took. One TikTok creator, someone who wasn't even a dedicated Bella Ramsey fan, posted a cropped version of the live stream meltdown with the caption, "This is what roasting does." No commentary, no edits, no music. Just Bella, caught mid-tear, whispering, "I don't even know what I did wrong," her voice barely holding together. The clip felt haunting, vulnerable in a way that most celebrity content never is. Within the first hour, the video had already racked up hundreds of thousands of views. TikTok's algorithm did what it does best, latched onto that emotional moment and pumped it into everyone's feed. You didn't have to follow Bella. You didn't have to know who she was. If you were scrolling TikTok that night, you saw her face, shaking, crying, breaking, and just like that, Bella's pain became everyone's talking point. Stitch videos popped up almost immediately. Some were heartfelt, people sharing their own experiences with online roasting. Others were less kind. A handful of creators accused her of staging the live stream to manipulate sympathy. One even paused the clip and zoomed in on her face, claiming the tears were too convenient to be real. The post got over 100,000 likes in less than a day, but for every skeptic, there were 10 others defending her. "I don't even know what I did wrong." That line was now being quoted in fan edits, reposted on Twitter, and even printed on t-shirts by Etsy sellers. Some creators turned the moment into full-blown think pieces. YouTubers made commentary videos dissecting the backlash, comparing Bella's experience to other public meltdowns like Britney Spears or Jeanette McCurdy. Suddenly, Bella wasn't just a young actor having a bad night. She was a symbol, a mirror reflecting what social media has become, a place where empathy faded and content is king. Even celebrities started weighing in. One major Netflix actress reposted the clip to her Instagram story, writing, "This is why we need to stop treating people like they're trends." Another tweeted, "Been there. This industry will break you if you're not careful." But in the middle of all this noise, Bella herself stayed quiet. She didn't tweet. She didn't post. She didn't respond. Because how do you even begin to respond when your lowest moment becomes the internet's favorite clip? The internet loves a downfall, but it also loves a redemption arc. And Bella's breakdown managed to spark both, almost simultaneously. Some people doubled down on the hate. Comment threads under unrelated posts were filled with roasts saying she was too sensitive, just acting, or pulling a PR stunt. Entire Reddit threads popped up accusing her of weaponizing vulnerability to dodge criticism. One popular comment read, "If you can't handle being famous, maybe you shouldn't be." It got thousands of upvotes. Others started joking about her breakdown. Parody videos emerged, using audio from her live stream layered with cartoon characters or sarcastic overlays. These were mean, cruel even, but they still went viral because nothing travels faster than a meme based on someone else's pain. But the other side of the reaction? That was much more powerful. Thousands of fans flooded Bella's old posts with messages of love. "We love you, Bella" trended on X for nearly 24 hours. Fan art started circulating, some of it depicting her as a warrior standing in a storm of hateful messages, others simply showing her crying with angel wings behind her. People who had once criticized her started walking it back, publicly admitting that maybe they'd gone too far. Mental health advocates joined the conversation, using Bella's breakdown as a launch pad for deeper conversations. Influencers began sharing their own experiences with online mistreatment, drawing parallels between hate-fueled comment sections and real-world trauma. One viral tweet read, "This isn't about Bella Ramsey anymore. This is about how we treat people when they stop entertaining us." And that was the turning point. Suddenly, the conversation wasn't just about Bella. It was about us, the viewers, the commenters, the reactors. People started reflecting, asking hard questions. Why do we think we're entitled to perfection from public figures? Why do we tear down the very people we claim to admire? Why is crying on camera treated like weakness instead of evidence that someone's still human? Of course, not everyone joined the empathy train. The roasts didn't disappear, but their voices started getting buried under something bigger: collective accountability. And while Bella herself stayed silent through it all, her silence said more than words ever could. But the aftermath of this moment wasn't just emotional. It had consequences that no one saw coming. Bella Ramsey's breakdown wasn't just a personal moment. It was a mirror reflecting something much darker. What happened on that live stream wasn't an isolated incident. It was the result of a system that rewards outrage, punishes vulnerability, and turns people into content before they even realize it. Bella's fame didn't protect her. In fact, it made her more of a target. And that's the trap. Because in today's internet, if you're famous and young, wrong, and especially if you don't fit into a narrow, polished mold. You're constantly at war with people who want to tear you apart. Bella, as an openly queer, non-binary actor, has faced constant scrutiny, not just for her performances, but for how she looks, how she speaks, how she exists. And for a while, she handled it like a pro, poised, grounded, gracious. But no one can carry that weight forever. The most dangerous part? The same platforms that helped build her career are the ones that chipped away at her confidence. Algorithms push negative engagement harder than positive feedback. Videos roasting Bella trended faster than videos defending her. Hateful comments got more likes than heartfelt ones. Not because people are inherently cruel, but because cruelty gets clicks. We've created a digital environment where public figures are expected to be both relatable and perfect, where they're supposed to share their lives online, but not too much, where being real is rewarded until it makes people uncomfortable. Bella's live stream shattered that illusion. It showed just how fragile the line is between fan and attacker, support and misuse, visibility and invasion. And for a generation raised on parasocial relationships where fans feel like they know celebrities personally, it was a harsh reminder. We don't. We know the version they're forced to show us. And when they drop that mask, even for a moment, it becomes a spectacle. But maybe that's what made this moment different. Because this wasn't a scandal. It wasn't a mistake. It was a cry for help that echoed far beyond one screen. The days after the live stream were quiet. Bella Ramsey didn't post anything. No tweets. No Instagram stories. Her team didn't release a statement. There were no follow-up interviews or press releases, just silence. And that silence spoke volumes. Her fans waited anxiously for signs that she was okay. Some messaged her directly. Others posted videos begging people to leave her alone. A few fan accounts even deactivated, claiming they didn't want to be part of the pressure anymore. Meanwhile, the internet moved on, as it always does. Another controversy started trending. Another celebrity made headlines. But for those who had watched the live stream in real time, who had seen that pain with their own eyes, something had shifted. Eventually, a short message appeared on Bella's Instagram story. White text on a black background. Thank you to those who reached out. I'm okay. Taking time to rest. Please be kind to each other. No emojis, no links, no plugs. Just a reminder that behind the headlines, behind the performances, behind the live streams and viral clips, there's a human being trying to survive all of it. In the weeks that followed, the clip of her crying was still being reposted, still debated, still dissected. But something about the tone had changed. It was no longer just the moment Bella Ramsey broke down. It had become a symbol, a warning of what happens when fame collides with cruelty. Her fan base, though smaller than it once was, became tighter, more protective, and more vocal about the dangers of online roasting. Some people called what happened a breakdown. Others called it a wake-up call. But maybe, just maybe, it was both. Because in a digital world where attention is currency and vulnerability is entertainment, we all have a choice to make. We can keep watching people fall apart for likes, or we can start listening before they do. What happened to Bella Ramsey wasn't just a story. It was a mirror held up to us, the audience. And maybe the real question isn't, why did she break down? Maybe it's this. Why did it take a breakdown for us to finally pay attention?